But
well, take the voluntary army. Now, you know, if you look in the 50s and the 60s, that looked like it was not going to happen. We had the draft,
Sure,
and the draft looked solid, and people, there was little support. The military was dead set against it. I know when I was at Rand, I tried to write something on the case for ending the draft, and Rand, which was then funded by the Air Force, wouldn't publish it. The Air Force just objected to it because they were getting good people who were trying to avoid the draft by enlisting in the Air Force at the time. So they were completely opposed. Then we get the Vietnam War, and of course all the protests and so on, and then the Gates Commission that you were influential. Maybe you can tell a little about that, because I think that was a turning point in the elimination of the draft.
Well, let me say something first. I don't want to take. I wouldn't take the position that a draft is never justified. No. It all depends on circumstances. The case that has always come to my mind was that of Israel. You have a small country with a small population. Essentially, you need almost 100% of your manpower for the proper army. You can justify a draft.
I think a voluntary army doesn't work well if you take, or might not work well, you're taking a significant fraction of the population.
That's right.
Because the price is going to be the taxes are going to be enormous that you're going to finance that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
But in the United States at that time, at the most, 1/3 of the young men were being required. So you had plenty of room, lots enough volunteers, reasonable prices. And and several things contributed to the success of the volunteer army. As you were saying, the Vietnam War was critical, the protests by the students and so on, and the scandal of the draft in which the class argument could be made that the wealthy children were first going on to graduate school, and second they were going to Canada. Indeed, I believe that the draft has had a great responsibility for the emergence of political correctness in our colleges and universities, because many of the youngsters who went on to graduate school as a way of avoiding the draft were people who would otherwise have gone into business. They would have been good entrepreneurs. Right. They would have done well, but they became scholars inadvertently. Yeah. And they had very left-wing opinions, and they really had no real scholarly interest in just being an academic.
Right.